What up, players? It's been a minute. Guys, I'm just gonna kick it right. Whoa, hey. Microphone's photobombing. Haven't heard that term in a minute. I think that shows some old, maybe. There we go. Look at that. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, man. Since Thursday, I've just been like, it's the Monday, February 10th. Since last Thursday, was it last Thursday? I think it was the Thursday before, actually. So it's been over a week. Or maybe it was, I don't know. For a while, I've just been feeling so tired, so depressed. Not so depressed, but like just not wanting to do anything. And I think in the last vlog I said like I had a system where it's like I was like a little kid. Like I would just focus so much on making music and stuff because it's what I wanted to do, to the point where like I couldn't do it anymore. I'd like start cutting corners and I'd like, or try to cut corners, right? And just I would just get like frustrated with it. But I'm like, I found a way to like take certain times throughout the week, even when I didn't want to. I would just like, even at the end of the day, I would just like replay video games or something like that I liked playing. Sometimes I would look through something like video games and I would just be like, eh. And I would listen to like music while I'm doing it or something, because I never really get to listen to music, you know what I mean? Or podcasts or anything like that. Because most of what I do, I got to listen to stuff, you know what I mean? Because I'm making music, so I can't like listen to music while making music. Just can't, or editing or anything like that. So, anyways, yeah, I just been kind of like down in the dumps, and I couldn't like get, I couldn't really play video games, and I couldn't, anything that I like to do to get away, you know, any hobbies or anything that I have to kind of just like reset my brain, I can't do now with one hand, you know what I mean? And I think everything was just piling on, you know. It's like, I kind of got over, you know, like not being able to play video games, or not being able to go ride my dirt bike, you know. But then it's like we got like, I don't want to say a bunch of snow, but we got a bunch of snow for my area. We don't really usually get piled on or anything. And man, one of my favorite things to do is ride my dirt bike in the snow. You know, it's just, it changes the whole terrain, you know. It's a different kind of ride. And so I'm like, well, dang it, I can't do it. I'm going to miss that this year. I got to wait till next year to do that. Or, you know, just not being able to play video games, you know. It's like I would hang out with my little brother or my kid or something, and they're playing video games. It's like I just have to watch. I can't watch people play video games. I want to like play them, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of stuff like that, you know. And then it just really sent me over the edge when I accidentally deleted TikTok from my phone, which people keep asking me, how the heck do you accidentally delete something from your phone? Well, I'm always making content and posting stuff, and I usually do it on Instagram, but depending, I don't know. I don't really flip-flop, but sometimes I get the idea and I need to use TikTok or YouTube or something because I know their feature better, whatever, something like that. Well, after a while, when you do that, the app takes up more and more space. So I use Instagram to post to Instagram. It automatically posts to Facebook and Threads, because I don't use Threads or Facebook really. Hardly really use Instagram. But just to get it out there, right? Someone might see it, who knows? And then I use YouTube and I use TikTok. Those are pretty much my main shticks, you know? And between the four, they were taking up like 10 gigs on my phone. And it's way easier to just, you know, delete them and then re-download them, because now they're all updated. They're only taking up a few hundred megs. We're good to go. Deleted all four. Wasn't even thinking about it, because that's what I've done all the time. You know what I mean? I tap on the App Store, and the first thing I'm thinking of is like, I'm going to download TikTok, because that's honestly, when I'm just consuming content, what I use. And I was like, oh no, it just like hit me. And I'm like, no, there's no like trash can on your phone or anything like that. And I was just like, it just sent me over the edge. You know what I mean? It's like not a big deal, but at the same time, it's like kind of a big deal. And I was just like, man, I was already like, things were building up, making my chest feel heavy, my brain feel like everything was going haywire, trying to keep myself busy from just making stuff, but I needed to like take a break, and that just sent me over the edge. You know what I mean? Now, I'm still been able to post to TikTok, so if you follow me there, you know that. Because here's the crazy thing. In the States, we can't download the app or update the app. We can use it if we still have it, but we can't download it or update it. But you can still go on Safari on your phone, or Google Chrome on your phone, or whatever you use, or even on a computer, and you can still use TikTok. It makes no sense. I know they can't track as much as they can through the app, but I had all that stuff turned off anyways. No app on my phone can use my location. It's crazy. Which I don't think a lot of people know how to do that or think about doing that, but it's annoying because I like doing video replies, and that's the biggest feature that I can't do. And it's very clunky to try and comment, especially to reply to a comment on your phone with your web browser of choice. So it's just super annoying, because if you follow any of that stuff, it's like these people in power right now are trying to force TikTok to sell part of their company to a U.S. like citizen, basically, someone who can afford it. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's just like, you're just stomping your feet because someone else from a different country is giving you a run for your money. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyways, that just kind of sent me over the edge. So I was just like, I've done nothing but sit around the last 4 days, and I've just played, I figured out how to play video games. So first of all, I modified my splint. I'll get into more detail on this. So I can actually, my wrist is very stiff, and it's still modified. I can't bend it back, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But I was pretty much just sticking to Mario Kart with my kid. But I needed to play some games like just by myself, or so. I had to do something other than think about all this stuff, you know? A ton of people have just been like sending me stuff and trying to talk to me about religion and politics, and the feeds now are just full of like political stuff, and I usually just watch like funny stuff or music stuff, and the political stuff is just like creeping in there no matter how much I just scroll past and don't interact or just straight up block it. You know what I mean? It's just there, and I don't want it to be. And now because I was trying to give people a chance when they're sending me religious stuff to like watch it or listen to it, that keeps popping up in my feed now. So like, I mostly watch like YouTube, and now my YouTube feed is full of these couple of people, and I just don't care. I want to watch people like unclog culverts, or build cabins in the woods, or all the sciencey kind of stuff that I watch or whatever. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to think about like, is this factual or not, or whatever. It's just like, I'm just over it. You know what I mean? So anyways, I figured out how to I pretty much been playing on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, and if you know, they have like in portable mode, you know, the controllers are like connected to the screen. It's kind of like a tablet almost, but those controllers disconnect, and you can play it on the TV. Portable mode's pretty much impossible for me. So what I've been doing is this controller. Now I can't play a lot of games that need the trigger and stuff like that, unless it's a little more relaxed. I've been replaying Mario Odyssey, which is a fantastic game, by the way. So, anyways, I'll kind of hold the controller like this, and then I can use my thumb to push some of the buttons, right? But the problem is when I'm doing this, and it has the other joystick on it, so if I need to, like, that joystick usually moves the camera angle, you know? The controller just, like, flops around, and I'll drop it or something like that. So, this controller usually has, you know, the trigger that I need and then the other joystick to move around. So I'll do that. So trigger, joystick, and then I'll use this finger and hold the controller like this, the other controller. So I'm kind of like this. And it's what you saw. It just kind of slipped out. And sometimes that happens, and this finger gets very fatigued. But I've been able to play, at least. It's been getting my mind off of things, you know? And the other thing I did too, because it's really hard, like a Mario Odyssey. I beat that game. I'm a 100% person. So like when I play a game, I like to do it 100%. That to me is beating the game. But I've beat that. Mario Odyssey takes a very long time to beat it 100%. And there's a few challenges in there that are incredibly difficult that I don't think I can even do with one hand. And to be honest, it's not even worth my stress to do it because I've already done it twice. So I just played the game to just play it and have fun. And I beat it. And it was incredibly relaxing. And you can actually play that game 2 players. So sometimes my kid would join in, which it used to be frustrating playing it with 2 players. And she'll kind of get bored because the second player is like Cappy. So if you're not familiar with Mario Odyssey, you know, Mario has his hat, but at the beginning, the storyline is Bowser took the princess and his hat got, you know, he kicks Mario off of his battleship, Bowser does, and then his hat gets left behind, Bowser stomps on it, and wind blows it, and it gets shredded up in the propellers, right? And when Bowser kidnapped the princess, he kidnapped her because he's gonna force her hand into marriage, and she's I believe in a wedding dress, but she has a tiara on, but the tiara is like alive. It's from a kingdom called the Hat Kingdom or something like that. So Tiara, that character, that is the tiara that princess is wearing, it's a living being, right? So Bowser kidnapped both of them. But Tiara has a brother named Cappy who can transform into other hats. So he transforms into Mario's hat, and they team up for this game. And it gives you a unique set of moves, right? So the second player can be Cappy, which, you know, the moves in the game is like you can throw Cappy, right? And he can collect stuff and hit things, items you normally couldn't reach as just Mario. But I realized instead of just getting frustrated, because my kid's 8, right? And she's played that game, and she's beaten it before. Not 100%, but she's unlocked a lot of stuff. But she plays to just have fun. So once I started playing to just have fun, at first it was frustrating because it's just like, dude, you can't just, she'll get bored and start flying around like as Cappy, right? Because when you're the second player, you don't just throw yourself and come back like you would in a single player, like one player mode. You can like go out and kind of like fly around, right? So she would do that and trigger other things that would, you know, just kind of like normally mess up the gameplay. But once I realized like it doesn't matter, we can just have fun. We started playing it together more and just laughing and having fun. And then we realized how to like work together to beat the game, and we did. So it was pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm still not feeling 100% I didn't sleep well last night. I think it's just because of stress, to be honest. And I've noticed too, like, since my injury, I haven't done, I was already kind of like backing off of like alcohol. And, you know, if you guys know me, I'm not really a drinker or anything. And I'm going to have to be vague here. There's, you know, because actually, when I broke the glass that cut my wrist, I was actually done doing the dishes. I was grabbing a glass to have some whiskey that I had gotten for as a Christmas gift from my neighbor, and it broke, and I cut my wrist. Accident, of course. I feel like I need to reiterate that because a few of the doctors and my physical therapist like had to ask. You know, they're like, "So we got to ask, was this self-inflicted?" And I'm like, "No." Which I totally understand. Like, we just got to ask, you know, it's like, you know, they're like worried about me getting offended or something, which I totally get. I'm sure people do. But I was like, no, appreciate you checking in. And no, but anyways, I was on the pain meds, so I just wasn't drinking or anything. Right. I've had a few glasses of whiskey over the last week, and I've noticed just like end of the night, kind of like chilling out, right? Not like drinking to get drunk, like not just throwing them back, right? Like a glass, like maybe a double shot, right? With a little bit of ice. The glass was in the freezer for a few days, kind of thing, like top notch. Man, I just don't feel good while I'm drinking it, after I'm drinking it. The next day, the one day I had some like with lunch or something, and like later on the day, I'm just like, oh man, like this just sucks. And I've noticed like my memory is just a little off, or like I just do weird stuff. Like I'd make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then I'm like standing in front of the fridge with the door open and the peanut butter jar, and I'm like, what shelf does this go on? And I'm like, it doesn't go in here. So I've just like stopped, you know what I mean? Like I've just realized, and it makes my anxiety go more, you know, because 2 days ago I had a glass of whiskey and my anxiety has just been higher. Or maybe it wasn't a glass of whiskey, if you're catching my drift. You know, maybe something that's like edible alcohol. And it just messes with it. So I'm still in the boat. Like, I don't really care what you want to do. I don't think those things should be like illegal or anything, but it's not really funny to joke about. It's not funny to, I mean, because sometimes it is, right? I don't think any of it should be illegal, but it messes with your body. It's not supposed to be in your body. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to kind of lean into the boat of, man, sober is great. And I was already on that path to begin with. And now I just truly believe it. Because it's just, I think it was kind of making it worse. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, kind of got off subject. What was it that I was talking about? I've kind of bounced back. I have physical therapy today, and man, I was able to do a side job at the beginning of the month, and there's another one. It keeps getting pushed back. So, like, you know, finances are still, I'm not sinking it. I'm just kind of kicking it at sea level. You know what I mean? So, and honestly, I got to give thanks to you guys, too. I don't think everybody watches the vlogs that has helped me, but people who have bought merch. I think because I've been posting a lot, because the last few days I haven't really been posting. And honestly, the last 3 or 4 days, I've just been posting clips on my music videos. and my stats started to like stagnate. They kind of plateaued. So I definitely got to keep making videos where I'm just like, I like to moosify things. Check this song out and put in a clip of my music video. It just grabs attention better. So I know I'd kind of mentioned that before, that I was experimenting with types of content like that. Yeah, it's definitely helped. So any of you inspiring artists out there, musicians or whatever, interactions, yeah, it just, you know, posting a music video, it's almost like an ad, you know what I mean? So when you're kind of presenting yourself in a way that's like entertaining and stuff like that, it just it goes a long way. And I get to interact with a lot of more genuine people. You know, I still get those comments that are just like, you shouldn't be doing it this way, because everybody's a freaking marketing expert now, apparently, you know. Yeah, so I don't know. But I think I've bounced back a little bit. I've had the urge this morning when I woke up to just make stuff, to vlog again. I don't think I can do it every day. I just don't have enough stuff to talk about. I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, it's just like, I just don't think I can. You know what I mean? And I was kind of bummed out because I kept it going for like 70 days in a row. I did a vlog every single day. But I needed this break. If I would have been trying to vlog, you know, I just don't think it's feasible, to be honest. And I'm very curious when I post this if I'm going to get like more views than usual. We'll see. It's probably 50-50. I'm probably either going to get the same or not. But the whole goal at the beginning was to get enough hours so I could start collecting ad revenue. But it's just not that much. And for me to just have a platform to just vlog and just get shit off my chest, and a platform to like post my creativeness, because I have Punk Cover Moose where I can do all my music stuff, and then now I got the second channel, and I think the point of this channel is going to be to just vlog and get the things off my chest and interact with you guys more. But I also want to post the other things that just aren't music related. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to make a video since I started my workshop. And I was just like, I just feel like this isn't related. You know what I mean? And when I started posting content again on Punk Cover Moose, I've made a few short form videos of just other things that I've made, like the gutter cleaning attachment for my leaf blower. And that video like blew up. You know what I mean? Like I got like 8,000 views or something on that, which like, you know, again, like views aren't everything, but it's just like, I need to just like share these things to just interact with people that are also into these things. You know what I mean? People in like my real life, like just aren't into that for the most part, you know? So, man, but, sorry, I got a little bit off subject. I have to thank you guys for just, not just, you know, buying my shit and listening to my music, but just talking to me, like, after, you know, a few weeks after, the last few weeks, right? I'm like 5 weeks post-op now. And it's kind of been just like back to normal life, except still just one-handed. But a lot of my days, I think I didn't have as much anxiety and stress too, because I was just talking to more people. People were just calling me, you know, and I would call them, and they were answering a lot faster and stuff like, not that I ever expect that, you know what I mean? But so I know people have their own life and stuff like that. So don't take this as like you have to like drop everything to like answer my phone or my call or my text or anything like that. I just, I guess I'm just speaking as an observation, like, more people were reaching out and stuff like that, and people that I want to talk to, but I think life just gets so busy. It's like, I don't hear from them, you know? And, I don't know. I mean, I also focused a lot on like the wrong people. I think I've done that most of my life. You know what I mean? I think people wanted to be a part of my life, but I'm like, I pushed them away for whatever reason, or distanced myself, and I don't know why, but it's just, I feel like it sucks because I've learned this so much later in my life. I mean, I was never like, a popular kid in high school or anything like that, but I was always so, there's a balance, right? I think I was very much on the side of just like airing of caution from people. I was always so worried of getting screwed over or hurt or anything from people, or like saying the wrong thing or something, and then like they didn't want to be my friend anymore or date me anymore or anything like that. And I don't want to completely flip the script. You know what I mean? I think there's a middle ground of just like, sometimes people do and say things or are a certain way that I need to just like not, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can be friends with people, but it doesn't mean you can work together. Or it doesn't mean, you can work with people and be friends with them at work, but it doesn't mean you can hang out after work or whatever, because no one's perfect, including myself. Which I knew that, but it was always just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if any of that makes sense or not. But anyways, I'm feeling better. I'm still feeling a little anxious, to be honest. I had a weird dream last night, but it was I was explaining it to my wife, and I was like, I was at a place where I think it was triggered because last night we went out to eat, and we kind of thought everywhere would be busy because of the Super Bowl, and we're not into sports at all, and we're not into crowds. But one of our favorite like local spots, they have good food. It's kind of like a bro spot, but we try and go there on like off days because a lot of people aren't there and a lot of the bros aren't there, and it's quiet, and they have good food. So we went there last night, and there wasn't a lot of people in the parking lot. More people kind of started to show up as the Super Bowl started, but we were like sitting at the corner of this bar, and then there was a couple, around the corner, and they were very nice. And then their friend showed up and like was standing at the corner where there like wasn't a seat, and we both had water or something. So he like had his glass where mine was at one point. So I was talking to my wife, and my brother was there too. And I just kind of instinctively like reached over, grabbed the glass. He was like, and he like got he got like offended that I accidentally grabbed his glass. I didn't drink it from it or anything. He was like, "Hey, that's mine. Hey, that's mine." I was like, "Oh, sorry, man." And he like kind of like snatched it and then put it like really far away so like neither of us could reach it. So I think that like triggered the dream, because it was like, which I realized one of my pet peeves is like, when you make a mistake and like people get not only offended, but then like you're like, oh, like genuine mistake, right? And you apologize, and then people don't say like, oh, that's okay, or nothing, like no big deal, man, or whatever. They're just upset. It's like a pet peeve of mine. It's like, would you relax? But we kept laughing about it last night, which I think was like pissed them off even more. And then after we left, And then last night I had this dream. We were in this room, and then people kept telling me. I think it was like that, like that event, like triggered it. But then also like I was telling my wife, I think all the hate comments that I've got just were like in my brain, and people were just like, I was in this room and people were like saying all these hate comments to me because they were just like, "You're no good. Stop playing," and like, "You suck. Like go get a real job," and shit like that. But I was like was sticking up for myself, at least in the dream, because usually I would have a dream like that and I'm like, oh man, like nah, like I've worked really hard at whatever, and like, no, I'm actually really capable. And they're like, no, you're not, dude, you suck. And it's like, but at least this time in the dream I was like sticking up for myself, you know what I mean? So I was just like, oh shit, that's good. So it wasn't like a bad dream, it wasn't like a nightmare, but it wasn't like a good dream either, you know what I mean? But I think maybe that's why I'm still feeling like, whew. But I also have like a bunch of things I need to do today that I want to like start making stuff again. I want to try and work on some music. Because at first I was telling you guys like I want to, I was just, you know, it's like I can focus on trying to record with one hand and make a story of that, or like, you know, a lot of people were like focused on the drums. Like, you could play drums with only one hand. And I'm like, I know, but it takes a lot of practice. And they're saying like 6 months tops. Like, how much, you know, the people you see on the internet playing with one hand, like, they've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I will get better, but I felt like it made more sense to focus on making video content to promote all the songs and covers I still have in my catalog that people haven't heard yet. Because there's like billions of people on the planet, and I have like, I don't know, between 40 and 50 songs in my catalog right now. So I'm just like, I'll just focus on that and get better at making content, which I did. And I think that was the right move. And because it takes, like, I have a lot of songs that are ready, not ready for my album, but just like need editing, or like if there was any mistakes, I could probably just edit out instead of replaying it. It would take longer. And when I have two hands, it'd be much easier. Like, I screwed up a little guitar part or something. It's so much easier just to punch in and re-record it. And then I know that I played it, you know what I mean? And having that, like, sort of egotistical, I guess. But to me, it's just faster, you know what I mean? And then editing it, even with two hands. But since I only have one hand and I can't even play, it takes me like 7 times as longer. But that's my only option. So instead of spending all day trying to work on a song that is taking me way longer than it should have, I'm just using this opportunity to make one-handed video content. I think it was the right move. But I'm getting better with editing, and now that I'm getting more function, I damaged all the tendons to all my fingers except for my thumb, and I severed a tendon in my wrist. So in the new update, it's apparently, I think originally I was saying 3, and then we found out it was 4 tendons, and now it's up to 5. So the tendons for my pinky and ring finger, you have 4 tendons to make your fingers go like this and like this. You have tendons on this part of your arm to make your fingers go like this, and tendons in this part of your arm to make your fingers go like that, right, to pull them back. And for your fingers, at least, I don't know in the back of your arm, but in your forearm, your tendons come up. There's like, well, I guess 5, because for your thumb. But in your wrist, where I just so happened to cut my wrist, they split, right? So each finger is, you know, you have a main tendon that comes up, and then it splits into 2. And the 2 is to, like, you know, 1 is so you can make your finger go like this, and 1 is so you can curl the tip of your finger. So it's like to move your finger like this, and 1 to like curl your finger, right? Well, for my pinky and ring finger in this hand, I severed it after they split. So I cut the 2 for both. And then these fingers, my index and middle finger, I didn't completely sever, but I damaged enough where they had to like sew it back together. The physical therapist was like, usually their rule of thumb, the surgeon, is if it's damaged 70 or what was it, 30% or more, they'll sew it back together or do some, I think there's other procedures, but for me it was stitching them back together. So my index finger was damaged the least, and I'm allowed to actively move my fingers now, within reason. But I can, if I take my splint off, I have to take my splint off now to do my newest exercises, which is great. It feels good. I'll take the sock off and like, oh, it feels so good. So I can hold things now. I feel confident that I can hold things now. I'm not allowed to hold things now. So pick is still out of the question, and I still have my splint. I have to have my splint on unless I'm doing my exercises, sitting down, not walking around or anything. So playing guitar is still out of the question, but I think we're going to work on that today in physical therapy. My middle finger is harder, and I'm not allowed to move these fingers yet. I think we're going to work on those today. And I think she said last week, my last appointment, my physical therapist said we're going to work on trying to grab things. Because the last one, we had like, she had like the pill bottles. There's like the fatter ones and the skinnier ones. She had some of the fatter ones just sitting on the table, and she would have me bring my fingers into it, not grab it, but just in to touch it. And I was able to. So I think today she said we're going to work on picking things up, which makes it closer to be able to hold a pen or pencil so I can sign my name and write without my left hand, which is the worst, which is closer to being able to hold a pick. But anyways, it's all progressing. It's getting better, right? There was another point I think I was getting to, but I forgot what it was. I just I want to work on music, I think was what I was talking about, and make content. And it's actually getting late. I should probably wrap this vlog up, and I need to go get ready for the day. That's the other thing too. I mean, I think I mentioned it before, but just, you know, I could shower, you know, like once I step into the shower to the time I step out, I mean, I could do it in like 5 minutes. And now it takes so much longer because I still have to put a bag over my stuff because I don't want moisture getting, I guess I probably could, but I still have to put a bag over it, which I can show you my cut as well, because it's probably not graphic enough where I can get flagged or whatever. But I still got to put a bag over it. I got to tie it in a knot, which is very hard with one hand. I got to use my mouth and do that, and it's hard. I can't wash this side of my body or my back. You know what I mean? It's usually like, I'm sure you guys understand. So it just takes so much longer. And getting dressed and getting undressed. You know, sometimes my wife can help me. But it all just takes so much longer. And I don't think a lot of people realize it. I think you guys probably realize that, but you know, people that don't deep dive into my content or think about the injury, you know, it is, you know, and people say shit, so it is what it is. But I am getting better. I'm getting closer. And when I started physical therapy about a month ago, she said we're looking at least 3 months before I'll be almost fully functional again, before I'm playing guitar again. So we're 1 month in, so I still got at least 2 months, which I can explain to you guys. So my newest exercises I got to do. So this is my hand at rest right now. So you can tell my fingers are all crooked, how they're not resting, right? So I still got to stretch the tendons and stuff like that. But one of my exercises, I got to make a C with this hand. It's a lot better today. I've been doing it for about 3 or 4 days. So like that's pretty good. It feels tight in here, but like that's pretty good. And the next thing I got to do is hook hand. Probably tell a little bit better if I take the sock off. So this is hook hand like this. So this is from C to hook hand. That's pretty good. It's pretty straight. In the camera, it looks a lot straighter than it is. But you can tell too, my hand's still pretty swollen. This hand here. And even like my knuckles. You know what I mean? My knuckles are almost, you can't even see them, especially here, these two, compared to this hand. You know what I mean? And I cannot make a fist. I feel that stretch. I'm not supposed to be 100% using that muscle. So C, hook hand, and then what they call duckbill. Duckbill's pretty good. I'd say that's really good. I'm like 100% on that. That's really easy for me. I still cannot move my wrist side to side because of this tendon. The other exercise I already showed you guys, index finger to the thumb. Got to be able to make the A-OK sign. Obviously, these fingers are sagging pretty low. I can't bring those up. And I could do with the middle finger. See how hard it is? If I focus, I can ease it down. But I still can't have these fingers up. They not that I can't, they just won't. You know what I mean? Like I can get like I said, my index finger is pretty good. So like that finger moves pretty freely, and I'm allowed to move it pretty actively. My first exercise was to passively do this, and then slowly let go, and they spring back. You know, so that's pretty good. and then actively bring them up to a splint position. So like that's good. What was the other exercise? Oh, the second exercise I got was to passively move my fingers in to the C shape. I think I was calling it hook hand, and then holding them to that shape and not letting them spring back. You saw my finger here did. It sprung back a little bit, and see how it's straight and not curved like a C? It's hard. I feel the tension here. And you can kind of see my scar there. I'll do a close up. And then the other thing I can do, and it feels so good because my wrist has been like this from being in my splint, and you can see my arm's still all kind of goofy looking, you know. It's gotten real thin here, probably from losing muscle mass or whatever. And I always had pretty big, solid forearms, like not Popeye, but like I've always had solid forearms. But anyways, the other thing I could do is while I'm curling my fingers in, actively move my wrist back. Now, a few days ago, she allowed me to do this, one of my exercises. I could get here, so see how my wrist is straight with my arm? I couldn't move it past that point, but now I can get right there is where I feel the tension. So when I feel that my tendons right here, where they were fixed, I can feel that tightness, and I'll just hold it there for a little bit. You know, like once I feel it tight, I might back off a little bit, or I just kind of hold it there. It's not painful, but I just feel it stretching. You know what I mean? Like you stretch before you play a sport or workout or something. I'll just hold it there, and then I'll relax, and I'll let my wrist go like this. Now that's moving it back to fourth, not side to side. I have to be careful with that. Let's see at rest, see how much my index finger is probably good. That's probably where my other fingers are supposed to be at rest. I got a lot of work to do. But anyways, I'll hold that, feel that stretch there, and I think that's what's been helping. So anyways, this is what my wrist used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. So you guys that saw the original picture, when I remember I had that big bandage on before I had this splint, or was in that Ace bandage. Remember I had the googly eyes on that. We called them Ace. I didn't see any of this for the longest time. And it was gnarly looking. So you guys that asked to see that picture, if you want to see it still, I still have it. Just DM me. This is looking way better. I mean, my scar has gone away. This was really swollen. You could still see there's a bump there. This used to be like, it was like bulging out. And then it was like bulging out around my straps too once I switched over to my splint. I didn't have any feeling here, and I can feel that now. It's spotty here. This whole bump, I couldn't feel it at all. It was very strange. So when she would work on it, physical therapy, she'd kind of massage it and stuff. I couldn't feel it. It was so weird. So weird. But, yeah. So see, this is, the original cut was this to about here-ish, I think. Somewhere around in here. And then they had to extend the cut up here, and they had to extend it down here. So that glass went right into here. It got, you know, you can see why. It got the tendons for my fingers here, for my wrist. Then they had to do this cut here too. So I learned there's, I don't know there's two bands that go across your arm that hold your tendons in place. So when you move them, kind of see how my forearm is flexing. If you didn't have those bands, your tendons would just kind of like, you know, when you made a fist, instead of them staying in your arm, they'd kind of extend way, you know, they'd go from here all the way out. So you'd have that, you know, but these bands hold it in. So you have a big band. I think she said it was right below this cut, which I didn't nick at all. And then you have a smaller band up here. And they had to do this surgery for two reasons. So one was so they can make sure they line up the tendons that were severed to the right ones, because you don't want to, like, you know, move your, well, for me, I might be thinking like, oh, I want to move my ring finger and it moves my pinky. You know what I mean? So to line them up correctly. And then the other thing they do is they cut that band there, because they call it carpal tunnel release. So with my arm being in the bandage and splint for months, I guess I could develop carpal tunnel. So they cut that. It heal as my tendons and stuff are healing. That band heals on its own. That's why I couldn't move anything, because I can rupture that band, and it could heal improperly and stuff like that. So, but now that I can actively move my fingers a bit, it's healed up pretty good. So that's why I can't do 100%, because I don't want to put a lot of pressure on that. But yeah, that's the update on that. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right. So, massive scar. And I already had a scar here from an injury from when I was a kid. But yeah, this arm's looking gnarly. But much better than it was. So, yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to, I guess really just sum everything up. I don't think I can vlog every day. I'm going to do it as I need to keep everything off my chest and just update you guys on not just my injury, but, what's going on in the moose world. And, I got to focus on my mentalness, my mentalness. Which, god dang it, you guys freaking tell me this all the time. I just genuinely enjoy making the things that I do. And this has all helped me realize, with also the help of you guys, realize how important it is to just keep your brain sane. And that's why it's kind of asinine that, when jobs expect you to put all these, especially when you're, like me, when you were putting you work a high requirement job or high stress job, and, you're working anywhere from 50 to 80, maybe even more hours a week. You just, you got to have time for yourself. That's not what your life was meant for. Maybe that's what you got to do to, save up for a house or get out of crippling credit card debt or something like that. Sometimes that's what you got to do, and some people get stuck because they get screwed with medical bills or something like that, But if you can, you got to try to just, because you only have one life too. And that injury woke me up on that too. Because I was always thinking like I'm not even 40, so if I live to be 80, I'm not even halfway through. I got plenty of time with my kid and stuff like that. It's like, no, you don't. They're not going to be a kid forever. And anything could happen. I just turned 38. If the circumstances were slightly different, I wouldn't be here right now. And, I thought about that. I even said that in my vlog. I was like, I remember sitting there thinking, like, man, if they don't get the bleeding stopped, if something's wrong, if someone makes a mistake, I'm right now. I had to, I wasn't scared of dying, but I was like, like I told you guys before, like I'm gonna find out what's on the other side, because that's the only way to find out. And it's calming for me, at least. But I also thought, man, I didn't think it would happen so soon, but I'm going to find out. So, anyways, don't want to end on a bummer of a thing. I think it's supposed to be pretty nice out. Spring's right around the corner, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get out and start doing stuff again. And I'm excited that I'm feeling better enough to make stuff today, but I do have physical therapy. I do got to spend way more time than it should take to get ready, but I have that opportunity to be able to get ready and by myself, and I haven't had much issues, you know what I mean, as far as stressfulness, as far as a lot of things, because my injury could have been worse, I could have not had people in my life that have helped me. And, financially, been, like I said, I'm not sinking. We're kicking it at sea level, at least right now. And I have this platform to thank for that, which is all of you guys. So I'm thankful for that. I appreciate you guys using the Amazon link in the description below. It's not much, but it's been helping. The merch, I appreciate you guys buying stuff. I think I need to probably get some better designs. They're not the greatest. I'll work on that. But I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys, all that stuff. It helps me so much. It really does. The streaming of my music, liking and commenting on the stuff. I know a lot of you guys have said, like, I wish I could contribute monetarily and stuff. It's like, guys, I get it. I'm strapped as well. There's creators I wish I could support on their Patreon. That's another thing, Patreon, thank you. There's people I wish, creators and artists and stuff, I wish I could support on Patreon I wish I could support other ways. But I try and just listen to their music. I like their stuff when it pops up. There's tons of small creators out there that are, so if you like their stuff, comment on it. If you listen to their stuff, it helps so much. And I can't stress that enough. So please don't. I feel like everyone, when they say that to me, they feel bad. And it makes me feel bad. I'm like, guys, no, please. And even just going through this injury, a lot of people message me and they're like, I know a popular artist like you probably doesn't see these messages, but, I just wanted to tell you, thanks for the great music, and I'll be trying to support any way I can. It's like, you guys know, I try and reply to every single comment, I know that you guys know that I message you. I don't just reply to messages for the algorithm. I don't even think direct messages have anything to do with that, to be honest. But either way, I'm not thinking about the algorithm when I reply to messages. I'm thinking about one person, normal dude, talking to another normal dude. You know what I mean? Dude as in guy or lady. So we're all people. You know what I mean? I'm not any better or more valuable because I'm a musician. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't see the messages. Sometimes I don't, know what to say back or something, and I'll just like it or whatever. Or I'm just tired. Like, we all do the same stuff. You know what I mean? That happens to all of us. It's not me ignoring you. It's like, don't overthink it. And I understand that. I overthink shit too. You guys, you know what I mean? So, anyways, I'm doing better, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the support. I'm going to vlog when I can. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. So I will see you guys in the next one.